Good afternoon. I'm talking to you again today from my shitty little garage, and it's hot. This summer has been so comfortable here in Los Angeles, but I finally reached those high temperatures. It's July 31st, and I'm not used to it. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about the biker wave. So I don't know if you guys heard on my previous video that I really have a few YouTubers that I really enjoy following. One's Scooter Tramp Scotty, one is Backroad Biker Chuck Gines, and one's a Black Dragon, John the Black Dragon. But this one has to do with the biker wave and the stance that Chuck Gines, the Backroad Biker, or Rat Trap, what he says about the biker wave and how he feels about waving at other motorcyclists, and Josh Shadetree Surgeon, what he says. So let's start with the one I mentioned first. So Chuck Gines says, you know, I'm not just gonna wave at any motorcyclist. It's not like I have any bond with them. I don't know them, they don't know me. I'm not just some happy guy riding around waving at everyone. But if like they're both riding through some hailstorm and you know he's suffering through it, going down one way of the highway, and there's another biker that is sharing that very difficult experience on a motorcycle, that he would wave in that instance. So there is instances where Chuck Gines would possibly initiate the biker wave, but it's very select, it sounds like. I forget what other instances he mentioned, but you know, he basically says, I'm not gonna just wave at everyone, and there's certain instances where I would be likely to possibly wave back or initiate a wave. Josh Shadetree Surgeon is a lot different, and I like to think that I'm pretty gregarious, down to earth, and am someone that will always wave back to someone that waves at me. But I did feel a little bit self-conscious riding a Harley, waving to mopeds. Shouldn't be. I love mopeds. I had one of the best days of my life renting a moped once. Yeah, I had insurance and I didn't mind laying the thing down. Me and my brother had a great time. But you know, Joshua Tree says, I'll wave to mopeds, no problem. I'm just happy out there and I'm waving to everyone. So I think I align much more with that attitude. And then there was one YouTube video made, and the guy called it Chuck Gines and the Biker Wave. And he's a very muscular guy. He's got quite a lot of views in this video. And I liked his take. He says, you know, if someone's gonna wave to me and acknowledge my presence in that moment on this earth, whatever, however you want to look at it, they're exhibiting positivity towards me, and I appreciate that, and I'm going to acknowledge that. That's a great way to look at it. You know, they don't have to acknowledge you. A lot of times people, you know, a lot of times when we're on bikes and cars are all around us, they don't really notice you. So the exact opposite of that is someone waving at you in your direction. They're being positive, they're noticing, acknowledging you and noticing you, and they're giving you a friendly gesture. So I agree with that gentleman and Joshua Tree, and that oh, just yesterday, so I was out of town 9 full days alone with my kids in Nissan Rogue rent-a-car, camping and traveling all through 5 states, all the way up to the top of the country. Great time. But needless to say, I really miss my motorcycle, especially in this weather. So I got home and was just exhausted. We drove all night, and so got home at like 6:30, had to take care of returning the car, did all that, and then I didn't get to sleep until maybe 10:30, 11, so I slept most of the day. And when I woke up, I was groggy and didn't feel like taking the bike out, and said, why not just get a nice early start when the temperature's low for this air-cooled Harley? And that's what I did. So I was in seventh heaven. I went out on my bike that morning, and I was coming around a nice sweeping turn, and I saw a moped come the opposite way, and I just was already kind of grinning. I think actually, not just inside but on the outside, had a grin on my face. And when I came around this corner and I saw a moped coming the other way, I just couldn't help but waving them because I was just in such a good place. I would have waved at a little old lady walking her poodles if she waved at me, anyone. And I think he seemed kind of really happy that this guy in a Harley was so happy and waving him, and he gave back a friendly wave. And you know, so that's the first time I ever initiated a wave to a moped while I'm on any motorcycle, and it felt good. So I think I'm gonna start doing that even. So I think that's my take on it. I don't really pick and choose what kind of bike you're on. I grew up primarily riding inline, four-cylinder inline Japanese sport bikes, and enjoy the heck out of them. Mainly Kawasaki's and Hondas, but I even had a Yamaha 700 FZR. The 1 year it dropped down to a 700 because the tariffs were too high on 750s, and really enjoyed that. But back in the day, when I was riding those bikes, if I waved to a Harley rider, there was like maybe a 1% chance it would wave back. And you know, Harley riders back in the day always just wore, you know, boots, jeans, and t-shirt, unless it was wintertime, and a jacket. You know, almost always wore, well, back in those days, there was no helmet law. But if they did wear a helmet, it was one of these. It wasn't DOT approved, and once the helmet law kicked in like the late 80s, this is all you'd see Harley drivers wearing. And there was a big separation between the sports bike riders and the Harley riders. And nowadays I steal a little bit. You know, I can ride my Harley and steal some of the safety approaches to riding that sports bike people have. Because look, these are blue jeans, but I got my padded knees in there. So anyways, I agree with people that enjoy being acknowledged and want to return positivity with positivity. If someone waves at me and I miss it, I kind of feel bad because that was a nice gesture and I wasn't able to return it. Because sometimes, you know, you just see peripherally that they waved at you and it's kind of too late for them to see you to wave back. And I end up kind of thinking, oh gosh, I wish I could have waved back a little quicker. But you know, it's all good. We're all out there just enjoying the road on two wheels. And I think that that does say something, and that is somewhat of belonging to the same community and enjoying a similar hobby, whether you want to call it your lifestyle or your hobby. You know, we're all out there taking much more risk than the cagers, than the people in four-wheel driven vehicles. And you know, we have similar issues that we have to go through, whether we take the motorcycles to mechanics or work on them ourselves. We have mechanical issues related to the motorcycles. We have the safety issue related to the motorcycles. So we have a lot more in common than we have not in common, and it's a positive gesture being thrown at you. Why not return it with a positive gesture? So that's my take. I appreciate Joshua Tree's take and the very muscular individual that commented on Chuck Johns and the biker wave. And I'm gonna leave it at that and get on this motorcycle and take it out because the afternoon traffic's about to kick in. It's a weekday, and got to get out there, have a good time riding those motorcycles. Bye bye.